Hi everybody, it's Lizzie. I want to talk about something that has been on my mind lately. We at Urban Bliss do a lot of different workshops, and I do a workshop on yoga and anxiety. And it's been a very big subject matter to some people that have been texting me and calling me. Yes, we are going to suffer some anxiety during these uncertain times. It's a normal human response. So I want to make this little video for you so that you can maybe navigate through some emotions that you're feeling. And I also want to stress two things. One, anxiety is a normal human response. And two, if it is overwhelming you and it's disturbing your life, you need to call someone for your mental health. Yoga is only a part of that solution. And if you need some numbers or some people, I know some very good therapists that are wonderful, and they could help you with overwhelming emotional responses. Yoga is a part of the recipe. It's not the whole recipe for chronic anxiety. But today I'm not going to be addressing chronic anxiety. I'm going to be addressing normal, everyday fears and anxieties, okay? And how yoga can help that. So it's normal, my dears, to feel anxious, and especially at these times, it's normal for us. We have these systems in place that when something is wrong or uncertain, we're able to respond quite quickly. So let's say you were walking on, for some reason, if you were ice skating and you were on ice and you felt the ice cracking underneath you, instead of just letting yourself sink down to the ground, there is a response in us that you would fly out of there because you want to self-preserve, right? We have this self-perseverance. We want to protect ourselves. We want to be safe. So, and that's also a key, right? Because when our safety is involved and when we have a fear of the unknown, that's the great Muladhara chakra, we react. And our bodies react in physical symptoms. It could be shortness of breath. It could be heart palpitations. It could be headaches. It could be all these different things. It could be insomnia, right? It could be irritability. All those things can be happening because we're anxious, right? So in yoga, the first approach that we would take for this kind of a feeling would be a breath technique. And deep diaphragmatic breaths are really amazing for that because it calms the parasympathetic nervous system down. Yoga is nadi shodhana, right? It calms and cleanses our nervous system. And so inhaling and exhaling through the nose in that Ujjayi breath is great. But when we're really anxious and we're feeling a little jittery, sometimes we can't take those deep breaths. And it's a technique that I learned a long time ago. It's called 2-4-8. And you might want to incorporate that, today or during your week when you find yourself just a little bit overwhelmed. So, and how we do this technique is you just inhale for 2. Inhale quickly. Inhale 1, 2. You hold it for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then on the exhale, you exhale for 8 counts. So it's a really long exhale. So studies have shown that we get calm more during the exhales than anything else. That deepens our sense of relaxation. So the 2-4-8 exercise is a really great exercise for us to do when we're feeling a little bit irritable or overwhelmed. So if you know me, I used to always tell the stories of my mom, and she used to say, count to 10, Lizzie, and I'd be like, "Ugh." But she taught me a really big skill. She taught me a skill. She was teaching me, inadvertently, teaching me how to use my breath to calm my parasympathetic system and to activate the parasympathetic system and to calm the sympathetic system, right? And so we need to teach each other those things, especially now. And as simple as it is, the 2-4-8 breath is really amazing, yeah? Also, yogis, grounding yourself in the present moment, yeah? And so those are gratitude practices in awareness, in the 5 senses. That's another great one, right? And so the only way that I can understand my presence a lot of the times is by senses. Hearing, seeing, touching, tasting. I know I'm in this present moment. And so what's a really nice practice, this bringing us into this present moment, these meditations, is to just sit for a moment wherever you are, and whatever you're looking at, be grateful for it. Say, I'm so grateful for the ocean that I'm seeing in front of me. I'm so grateful for the smell of the sea water. I'm so grateful to feel the sand in between my fingers. And so we use our gratitude with our senses, and we ground ourselves into this present moment. Now, granted, you might not be by the sea, but wherever you're at, looking at your children, I'm so grateful that I could see my beautiful daughter's face, and I'm so grateful that I could hear her laughter. I'm so grateful to be able to just bring her in and just hug her, right? So we could use our senses, yogis, to ground us in the present moment, and it brings our anxiety levels down. Another way in yoga that we can help the levels of anxiety or bring ourselves back into this present moment is maybe using a sound, right? So the integrative way to use yoga is also using mantra sounds or vibrational sounds. Sometimes we can recite a whole prayer over and over and over again. And if that works, that's always worked for me. But when you're very anxious, sometimes you can't even spit out the whole prayer, right? Or the mantra, or the kriya, whatever it is that you want to repeat. But you might want to just take one word, Om, or Jesus, or sunshine, or whatever that is for you. And you repeat it over and over and over again. And that becomes, mantras protect our mind from our own thinking, right? So you might want to incorporate that. Yogis, there are very many tools to incorporate when we feel anxious, yeah? Try some of them. My favorite one really is to incorporate all of them. The breath, the gratitude in my senses, being in that mindful meditation, and also adding a mantra or prayer. Every morning I say my prayers, right? And it grounds me into this present moment, and my whole gratitude sense brings any kind of anxiety I would have down, because I trust. We also want to think about spiritual practices in these times too. What's the foundation in yoga? What's the foundation of maybe your religious beliefs? What is going to bring you into this faith and trust that everything is going to be okay, right? In yoga, we have the 8 limbs, and we have Ishvari Pradnitana that says that have faith in God and put all your faith in God. We do the work, but everything is going to be okay, because it is okay. Yeah? Yogis, I hope this helped you a little bit. I will be doing some more sequencing for breath work with anxiety. But remember the 2-4-8 sequence. Remember, inhale for 2, hold for 4, exhale for 8. The more we work with the exhales, the more we calm ourselves down. If you decide to do the 2-4-8 sequence, do it for a couple of minutes. Don't just do 1 or 2. Let the oxygen, let the breath, let the diaphragmatic breath help you calm your nervous system. Yogis, and remember, if your anxiety is way off the charts, if you're suffering from PTSD, or if you have a chronic compulsive disorder, these are things that yoga alone are not an answer. You need to talk to someone and to really guard your mental health. Yogis, I care so much about all of you. And in these uncertain times, yes, we can use yoga as a tool, but I also want you to reach out to those that can help you. And if you need help with that, let me know. Have a wonderful day, yogis. Sat Nam and Namaste.